guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Tuesday, March 5th, 2024, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now, it is 15:28 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Russia, Europe, and Asia. So apparently, Putin has issued a final warning to the West, verbally and in writing. And apparently, he said, "We warn you not to ignore it. It is the last warning." Wow. Okay, so this is Putin's final warning to the West. And this is coming just a few days after NATO held a meeting to discuss deploying troops into Ukraine. We heard that the French special forces were going to deploy to Ukraine. We heard that various allied countries, NATO allies, were going to deploy troops to Ukraine to operate air defense systems and do various things along the front line, like demining and advising Ukrainians. So the situation is escalating, guys, and Putin has issued a final warning. And this warning comes also a few days after the conversations amongst the German Air Force officials about using German Taurus missiles to destroy the Crimean Bridge was leaked out by Russia. And if that's what Russia leaked out, I'm sure they have a lot more intelligence. They probably hacked the German military to a certain extent. If they were able to intercept that conversation on WebEx, I'm sure they have a lot of other conversations like that and a lot of other intelligence that they haven't shared yet. Okay, but this is extremely concerning. We also have Russian authorities announcing a check of the population warning system in Crimea, which is expected to take place next Monday. Okay, so Putin issuing a final warning to the West, verbally and in writing, saying, "We warn you not to ignore it. It is the last warning." Russian authorities announcing a check of the population warning system in Crimea. We also have U.S. nuclear forces on high alert again today. We had a Doomsday plane in the air. It went from the DC area to Offutt Air Base earlier today. We also have some nuclear war command and control planes in the air and a nuke sniffer plane. So something's going to happen soon, guys. Okay, we have a massive amount of reconnaissance activity over Europe again, and Bulgarian military sources said that over the weekend, the U.S. sent F-35s into Ukraine to scope out the Russian air defense systems, and apparently they were also practicing a bombing run, okay? So the situation is escalating. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that we don't know about, and Ukraine sunk another Russian warship. I'm going to show you guys some video footage of that. And there was also another cyber attack this morning. Apparently, it targeted social media platforms. People were complaining they couldn't access their Facebook and Instagram. There was also issues with Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and WhatsApp. Also, various Google services such as Google Play and Google Search and Gmail were not working. So it appears that Meta and Google were hit, and also TikTok. Okay. So this was a massive attack across various social media platforms. So I don't think this is the big one. I think the big one is coming. I think these cyber attacks we've been seeing the last few weeks, first on the cell phones, now on social media, these are just probing attacks, okay, small test attacks, if you will, for the big one, which I believe is coming. And when the big one comes, it's going to take down our entire grid or parts of the grid. And Dmitry Medvedev said that the U.S. is now at war with us. Look at what is happening. The main threat in the world now is the threat of nuclear conflict. We absolutely don't care who is elected president of the U.S. We are ready to work with anyone. Okay, so he's saying that their policies are not going to change regardless of who's president. And what's funny is Medvedev was wearing this blue outfit, and basically the identical outfit to what Hillary Clinton has worn before. And I don't know if this is something that the elites do. All the elites dress a certain way, and it's sort of like a secret code of some kind. They're communicating with each other, or I don't know, but this is very interesting. And Medvedev showed a map of Ukraine, and the map of Ukraine showed basically what he believes Ukraine should look like. And the entire western half of Ukraine was Polish territory, the entire eastern half was Russian territory. And he believes that basically just a 50-mile radius around Kiev is what Ukraine should be, which is just absolutely insane. And I want to show you guys these nuclear war command and control planes. So we have one looping over northern Utah, just to the west of Salt Lake City. And this thing has been looping for several hours here. And this is a sign that it's dropping its trailing wire antenna, which means that it's sending out messages to our nuclear forces. And then here we have another one that just reached the Gulf of Mexico, which means it's probably soon going to be sending out messages as well. And we also have this nuke sniffer plane that's flying over Iowa right now. These planes can detect the presence of radiation in the atmosphere. And this was earlier this afternoon. You can see this presidential Doomsday plane and E-4B Night Watch went from DC to Offutt Air Base, which is home of the Stratcom bunker. That's where George Bush went after 9/11. So I don't know if Biden went to the bunker. I don't know if Lloyd Austin went there, but definitely some VIP went to the Stratcom bunker on the Doomsday plane. And at the same time, you had these two nuclear war command and control planes take off. And actually, one of them got aerially refueled. The one that's over the Gulf right now, it got aerially refueled. Here you can see it meeting up with a KC-135 over Oklahoma. Okay, and this is after it got aerially refueled. The aerial refueler went north, and the nuclear war command and control plane continued on its path. So this is extremely unusual, guys, to aerially refuel a nuclear war command and control plane over the United States. That's extremely unusual. Okay, that means that they're expecting this thing to stay airborne for a long time, which indicates a high level of alert. And we also had a lot of activity over Taiwan last night. We had a combat sentinel plane, a sub hunter plane, and a reconnaissance plane. Now, the combat sentinel planes are actually just a regular reconnaissance plane, but what makes them special is they provide information directly to the president and the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Okay, so it's very similar to an RC-135, except that it provides the intelligence that it collects directly to the president and the top generals in the U.S. Okay, so we had one of those airborne just south of Taiwan. We had a regular RC-135 operated by the Air Force looping in the southern part of the Taiwan Strait all night long. We also had a sub-hunter plane in the same area as well, and an aerial refueler. Okay, and that's what you're looking at right here. So something is brewing there in Taiwan if they had all these assets at one time last night. And we also had a massive amount of various U.S. Navy, Marine, and Air Force planes flying back and forth from Japan to South Korea and from Okinawa to the mainland of Japan last night. You can see all these planes here. And here's a closer look at one of the reconnaissance planes that was patrolling the southern part of the Taiwan Strait. This is just the regular reconnaissance plane, not the combat sentinel plane. And you can see it was looping here for hours. And then there was also a Taiwanese reconnaissance plane that was patrolling the western shore of Taiwan. But what's interesting is this combat sentinel plane turned its transponder off when it was patrolling this area. It only had its transponder on once it got out of the Taiwan Strait area. Okay, so obviously it was trying to remain hidden. And right now, the largest annual military exercise is going on in South Korea with the United States, and it includes both tactical and strategic forces from the US, okay? And apparently, this exercise is being held to deter North Korean nuclear and missile threats. Here we have some video footage of it. And the exercise is called Freedom Shield. Okay. So this is an all encompassing exercise, including Air Force, Navy, and Army. Okay. All different assets, South Korea and the US working together. And there was a 120 character emergency action message that came in last night while we had all that reconnaissance in Taiwan. Let me play it for you real quick. And this update was sponsored by Patriot Supply. Guys, Patriot Supply is doing a discount on their 1 month emergency food supply. And to get the deal, you got to go to preparewithnyprepper.com, and the link is in the description below this video. This is a 1 month freeze-dried food supply. It has a 25-year shelf life, and it's all packed within 2 rugged, water-resistant buckets. Free shipping is included. $177 for 1 month of food. Where are you going to find a deal like that? They also have a general store, and they're always running discounts in their general store on various prepping and survival items. They have everything from MREs, potassium iodide, to survival seeds. And to get to their general store, you got to click on the Patriot Supply logo at the top of the page when you get to preparewithnyprepper.com. And you'll see when you get there, they have everything you can imagine. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get $60 off the Patriot Supply 1 month emergency food supply. That's $180 for 1 month of food, free shipping included. The link is in the description below this video. And also check out their general store. They have everything you can imagine prepping and survival related, and they're always running various discounts there.
Uniform, Tango, 4, Victor, Sierra, Bravo, India, 7, Golf, Papa, Delta, X-Ray, 7, Mike, Echo. This completes message of 120 characters. This is Flyball out.
So that wasn't the whole message. I'm not going to bore you with, a 3-minute long emergency action message, but the U.S. is on high alert, guys. Okay, look at this training. This training is really intense, guys. Okay, in South Korea going on right now. And Ukraine destroyed another Russian warship, the Sergei Kotov. They used unmanned surface vessels. And here we have some video footage that was released by the Ukrainian military. Unfortunately, I cannot play the whole video for you due to YouTube rules. Okay, but you can see this huge kaboom here. And this video shows like multiple drones impacting this ship. Okay, so here's the ship, and it gets close, and then boom. And there are just multiple of these drones, these naval drones that hit this ship. I mean, it looks like several of them by the video here. Okay, you can see one kaboom right there. Then there's another one. Look at that. Okay, and then there's another one there. So they hit this thing with multiple kabooms. And here we have another video that unfortunately I cannot share the whole thing, but you can see this big fireball there, okay, when the ship was hit. Look at that. Wow. Okay. And this is just one 15-second clip. All right. And in this clip, you can hear the Russian warship trying to shoot at the drones that are coming in. And apparently, this warship was worth $100 million and it was built in 2022. So it was brand spanking new. And the Ukrainians destroyed it. And apparently, it was capable of launching the Caliber cruise missiles. And here we have some video footage showing a drone production facility in Russia. So Russia is now producing their own Iranian drones. Iran has sold the blueprints to Russia for these drones. Okay, these are the Shahed drones. Okay, so Russia and Iran are cooperating. Okay, Russia is supporting the enemies of Israel. Russia is a strong ally of Iran. Iran wants to wipe out Israel. Okay, and that's coming straight out of the Bible, guys. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 38 and 39, clearly states that Russia, Iran, and various Middle Eastern countries will form an alliance and attack Israel in the latter days. And we're seeing that happening right now with this unprecedented cooperation between Russia and Iran. And the United Nations Office of the Special Representative of the Secretary General on Sexual Violence and Conflict released their report earlier today from the October 7th massacre by Hamas against southern Israel, with them confirming the discovery of significant evidence which suggests that mass rapes and sexual torture occurred to Israeli women and girls in at least 8 communities near the Gaza Strip during the attack. And news reports coming out of Egypt are saying that the Gaza ceasefire talks have collapsed. Okay, so they were going to have a several week ceasefire over Ramadan. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. Probably Hamas rejected the proposal because Hamas wants the Israeli military to unilaterally withdraw from the Gaza Strip. They said a few weeks ago that the only peace deal they're interested in is one in which the Israeli military completely withdraws, and that's not going to happen, okay? And NATO kicked off a massive exercise yesterday in the northern part of Scandinavia. Apparently, more than 20,000 troops from 13 countries are going to be doing exercises in the northern parts of Finland, Norway, and Sweden. Over 4,000 Finnish soldiers are expected to take part. This is called Nordic Response 2024. And for the first time, Finland will participate as a NATO member nation in exercising collective defense of the alliance's region, the Finnish Defense Forces said in a statement. The Swedish Armed Forces said about 4,500 personnel from its Air Force, Army, and Navy will take part in the drill, which is being conducted in demanding Arctic winter conditions. Okay, so want to just show you guys some flight paths from Scandinavia. We had this EC-130Q Hercules go north towards Svalbard, and this EC-130Q Hercules used to be a nuclear war command and control plane before the E-6Bs took over. So this is an old Takamo plane that went north to Svalbard. Very, very interesting. There was also this U.S. Marine Corps KC-130 that was flying over the northern part of Norway and Sweden. And we had this AWACS plane flying over Sweden this afternoon. And here we have multiple aerial refuelers over northern Sweden. And this is the area where we moved 2 B-1 strategic bombers to 2 weeks ago. And we had a massive amount of reconnaissance over Poland and the Baltics as usual. Here you can see a Swedish reconnaissance plane patrolling the Polish Kaliningrad border and the Polish-Belarus border. And then there was also a Swedish reconnaissance plane patrolling the Baltic Sea. We also had an Estonian border guard plane patrolling the southeastern part of Estonia near the border with Russia, near Pskov. And yesterday they were patrolling the area near Narva. So Estonia is definitely concerned about an invasion. And here we have an RC-135 reconnaissance plane that was patrolling the border of Moldova and Romania. And here we have a reconnaissance plane that was patrolling Serbia and Kosovo area. Okay, it was flying over Yugoslavia, the old Yugoslavia area. Okay, very, very unusual to see this. So something's brewing over here. It flew right over Sarajevo. And here we have some video footage coming from this exercise. I want to just play this for you. This is in northern Norway, northern Sweden, and northern Finland. Okay, thousands and thousands of NATO troops, guys. This is huge. Armies, navies, and Air Force. Okay, apparently a British aircraft carrier has deployed there. We have the B-1 strategic bombers there. I mean, this is huge, guys. Absolutely huge. This is very, very serious. And, you know, Russia has invaded this part of the world before, okay? During the Winter War from 1939 to 1940, it was just a 6-month war between Finland and Russia. Russia invaded Finland. And one of the areas that they went to was the very northern part of Finland and Norway and Sweden. They invaded up there. Okay, so there's a good chance that Russia could do that again because that area is not heavily defended. And we have some information that apparently an Iranian national on the terror watch list was caught trying to enter the U.S. illegally through the southern border. And this was reported by Fox News. And we currently have this FBI wanted poster for some Iranian intelligence agent who is believed to have entered the U.S. through the southern border. And his mission is to assassinate U.S. government personnel in retaliation for the assassination of the Iranian general Qasem Soleimani several years ago. Okay, so keep your eye out for this guy, Majid Dastjani Farahani. Okay, so get a good look at his face. And that's pretty much it for this one, guys. I will be back this evening with more breaking news. So make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell icon down below so you get notified when I post these updates. And until then, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.